What's up, YouTube? T-Movies here. With the new Judy Garland biopic Judy hitting theaters this week, since the film stars Renee Zellweger, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Renee Zellweger movies. And she's a really talented actress. You know, she won an Oscar. She's been nominated loads of times. I mean, I never really done a top 10 list of hers yet, so I was like, okay, since she had Judy coming out this week, I'll go ahead and do a top 10 list of her. So, with that being said, here's my 10 favorite Renee Zellweger movies. Alright. Coming in at number 10 is the film Love and a 45, where in the film it stars Gil Bells from Shawshank Redemption fame as this criminal named Woody Watts, who ends up attempting to rob this convenience store with his drug addicted buddy named Billy Mac Black, played by Rory Calhoun. And so, it also ends up leading to murder, and so Waddy ends up leaving Billy behind, and so Waddy, ends up heading towards Mexico with his girlfriend named Stalin, played by Renee Zellweger. And so they of course the fugitive couple ends up having lots of media coverage and the law enforcement is on their tails and all. It was a really good film. I mean, it got released in the 90s, one of Renee Zellweger's earliest roles, and she really shined here. Gil Bells was great. I mean, I really like Bells and Zellweger's chemistry for one another. It's directed by us. It was directed by C.M. Talkington. It also featured people like the late Pierre Fonda, Jeffrey Combs, Willie Wiggins, Micah Bowen, Charlotte Ross. Some really good cast members was in this. And yeah, it was really interesting, really gritty. I do love me these Bonnie and Clyde type films, whether it's Natural Born Killers. One reason why I cannot wait to see Queen and Slim, because that's a Bonnie and Clyde type film. And yeah, love it. Like, this is a really good film. If you guys never seen 11 at 45, it's really decent. Alright. Alright, coming in at number 9, I'm going with the Farrelly Brothers directed film, Me, Myself, and Irene. Now, in it, Zellweger plays this woman who's, accused of a hit and run, and she, of course, insists that she's being framed by her monster boyfriend, so she ends up being assigned to be escorted across the country by this police officer named Charlie, played by Jim Carrey, and Charlie actually is kind of falling for Irene, so he ends up falling for the criminal, if you really want to look at it that way. And so throughout the whole, throughout the whole film, he's trying to end up getting married for her as well. I mean, he's trying to marry a girl that he literally just met. And there, of course, romance that winds between the two. I mean, Me, Myself, and Irene is freaking hilarious. There are some really interesting animals that pop in this. You had some good supporting players, people who popped up in this include people like you had Chris Cooper, Robert Forster, Anthony Anderson, Jessica Harper. You also had Tony Cox was in this. Some really cool cast members was in this. I mean, if you guys never really seen Me, Myself, and Irene yet, it's a really funny film. I mean, it's part romance at times. It's nice little raunchy comedy, really funny film. All right. Coming in at number 8 is going to Down with Love. Now, the movie takes place in 1962, and it's about this feminist named Barbara Novak, who ends up writing this best-selling book that details the drawbacks of love, and she encourages women to forego a serious relationship with men in favor of independence and all. as well as like in the workplace, achievements, and loads of other stuff. And so like many men ends up being taken back by her progressive views, including this writer named Catcher Block, played by Ewan McGregor, who decides to expose Robert as a fraud, and he ends up exposing her pretty much her by making her fall in love with him, and it's Down with Love, so there is love stuff that happens in this. And it's directed by Peyton Reed, who also gave us the Ant-Man movies and Bring It On. I mean, kind of interesting films that Peyton Reed directed before he did Ant-Man, by the way. I always found that interesting, but yeah, Down with Love. You also had David I. Pierce, Sarah Paulson was in this. Down with Love is a really nice romantic comedy. I really like. I really like Renee Zellweger's part. Of course, her character is very feminist throughout the whole film, and so there's also great romance there between Zellweger and McGregor's character. Those two play off each other really well, and it's probably one of the most like very underrated romantic comedies in the past number of decades. It's a really good little film. I mean, if you guys you've never really seen Down with Love yet, it's get down with it because it's a really nice flick. All right, all right. Now coming in at number 10 is going to the Ron Howard directed film Cinderella Man. Now this stars Russell Crowe as his heavyweight champion named James Broderick, who from Bergen, New Jersey. He ends up being he ends up becoming this promising contender in professional boxing. And so like in 1929, he ends up being defeated by this heavyweight champion named Tommy Longren, who ends up saying his career into a serious tailspin. And so he later, like years later, he decides to get back in the ring, and he also had, and also throughout the film, he also has like romance with his. He ends up having support from his wife named May, played by Renee Zellweger, who actually scored an Oscar nomination for this, if I'm not mistaken. You even had Paul Giamatti, who ended up playing like his manager here. I mean, great, like really great performances by Renee Zellweger and Russell Crowe. Those two were really great in this. Ron Howard did a pretty cool job at directing this movie. It had an interesting storyline. Yeah, I mean, it's not really Ron Howard's best work either. I mean, it's a good film. Just I know lots of people actually say it's Ron Howard's best film. I never thought of that, but it's still a really decent film. I mean, it's a cool boxing flick. The boxing scenes are pretty cool. The performances by Giamatti, by Zellweger, and loads of the other guys. I mean, I think Paul Giamatti won his Oscar for this. I think. You gotta double check that. But still, Paul Giamatti was terrific here. I mean, if you guys never seen Cinderella Man by now, really good film. Alright. Now, coming in at number 6, I got the film One True Thing, which was a film that starred the street monster Meryl Streep. I mean, she of course got an Oscar nomination for this because she's a street monster and she's in your film. She's most likely going to get an Oscar nomination. And in it, Renee Zellweger plays this like this Harvard grad named Helen Golding, who is working on this magazine for like this New York magazine investigation article, and she ends up hearing from her father, played by William Hurt, that her mother is dying of cancer. So she decides to travel to she really visit her mother and try to spend some time for her. And Meryl Streep and Renee Zellweger, I thought really like the mother and daughter dynamic chemistry between the two was great. And of course, in the whole film, Ellen also wants to get away from the problems with her boyfriend, played by Nicky Cat, and so. And William Hurt, I thought was great at playing the dad. I mean, he's William Hurt. He's great in anything. And the movie, of course, is based on a book, and also it's not to mention it's directed by Carl Franklin, who is a cool director. I like Carl Franklin. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen One True Thing, you're going to need some tissues while you watch this. And yeah, it's a really cool mother and daughter relationship film. I mean, it is really sad throughout the whole film, but it's a really nice flick. Like, if you guys haven't seen One True Thing, give it a go. Alright. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the film Nurse Betty. Now, Nurse Betty is a really nice little flick. I mean, it's directed by Neil LaBue, who is a really cool. Neil LaBue is always great. And so in it, Renee Zellweger plays this small town waitress and a soap fan from Fanos, Canada. And so, like, she ends up being traumatized by a savage event, and it leads Betty entering a state that ends up allowing, even like, encourages her to keep functioning, and it also explores the alternate reality and all. I mean, it's a really weird, dark comedy, but it's really good. I mean, Renee Zellweger obviously is great. You also had Greg Kinnear, who plays her doctor in this. You also had Morgan Freeman, Aaron Eckhart, Chris Rock, Crispin Glover, Allison Janney. I mean, here, of course, fantasy ends up colliding with reality with Betty Sizemore, and she pretty much ends up inspiring herself and everyone she meets to like find at least one piece of their real selves throughout this romantic and funny comedy. And I'm not gonna go through the whole details of the film because I don't know how many people still haven't seen Nurse Betty, but it's pretty decent. I mean, it actually is 19 years old this year, which wow, crazy to believe this movie is 19 years old. But yeah, it really is. And yeah, Renee Zellweger, like I said, was great. I believe she scored a. I think she actually scored a not an Oscar nomination, but I think probably a Golden Globe or something. I think she scored some sort of award recognition for this. Can't remember, but yeah, really interesting dark comedy. I mean, I do love me a good dark comedy, and yeah, this is definitely a really good one. All right, coming in at number 4 is going to be the film Miss Potter. Now, in this, Renee Zellweger plays the author of the Tale of Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter, and I really loved Renee Zellweger here. I really thought she played the role of Miss Potter really well. It also showcases her relationship with her husband named Norman, played by Ewan McGregor, and also pretty much showcases her relationship with her daughter. That's really Renee Zellweger's character. But of course, her daughter pretty much does not accept that. And really, the character of Norman is also trans. So, yeah, I mean, I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Miss Potter. I gotta rewatch this movie again. But yeah, you also have Emily Watson was in this. I really like the dynamic camera. It also showcases Zellweger's chemistry with her daughter as well. Um, Renee Zellweger really showcased, like, really did a magnificent job at playing Beatrice Potter. She really embodied that role really well. And the movie was also directed by Chris Noonan, who did a pretty cool job at directing. I mean, this is a really cool, nice little film. I mean, Renee Zellweger scored a Golden Globe nomination for this. Really decent film. If you guys haven't seen Miss Potter, it's really good. Alright. Now, coming in at number 3 is Show Me the Money. It's Jerry Maguire. I mean, you've got people like Tom Cruise, Cuba Gooding Jr., John Lipnicki played her young son in this. And Zellweger, of course, delivered the line, "Had me at hello." And come on, I mean, this movie has probably the most iconic lines, whether it's "Show me the money" or "You had me at hello." I mean, yeah, some interesting lines feature in this. And in this, Zellweger plays this single mother who's like raising her young son who like is devoted who pretty much is devoting following her sports agent boss who find like another job after he ends up self-destructing, tries to inject more humanity into other world sports, and so she ends up falling for the lead role of Jerry Maguire, and Jerry Maguire ends up playing like Pop to the woman's kid as well. I mean, Tom Cruise and Renee Zellweger's on-screen chemistry really sells this movie. I mean, those two really play off each other well. They had great dialogue with one another. You even had, I mean, not to mention, you even had Kelly Preston was also in this. Virginia King. I mean, some really good. Like, he had some really cool cast members in Jerry Maguire, and yeah, it also scored an Oscar nomination for Best Picture. I mean, Jerry Maguire is great. If you guys ever see Jerry Maguire, give it a go. I mean, this is literally a movie that I think, like, normally romantic comedy. I've already mentioned this before when I talk about Jerry Maguire, but usually romantic comedies, mostly females more enjoy romantic comedies more than males. But Jerry Maguire is literally a romantic comedy that I think males and females could really get a kick out. Because it has the football side that I think males could find fascinating. Then there's the romantic side that I think females could find fascinating. So, yeah, Jerry Maguire, this is definitely a romantic comedy that I think is just for everyone. And if you guys still never seen Jerry Maguire, it's a classic one. Alright. Coming in at number 2 is going to Bridget Jones's Diary. Now, this is now, when I first saw Bridget Jones's Diary, I literally thought Renee Zellweger was British. I mean, but it turns out she's actually from Texas, and she just ended up using a British accent through this whole film. I mean, I always keep forgetting she's from Texas because of this movie, and that woman could pull off a British accent easily. Like what in Miss Potter, she put off a British accent, and in Down with Love, she put off a British accent. I mean, she could pull off a British accent really well, and you'll literally think she's from England. And here, she, of course, ends up pretty much falling for, like, two guys, played by Colin Firth and Hugh Grant. And, Renee Zellweger is, of course, this post-feminist, 30-some-year-old British who is a very, who drinks loads of alcohol. She smokes a whole lot. I mean, yeah, this is definitely a really great rom-com. And she, like I said, she ends up falling for Colin Firth and Hugh Grant's character. And the movie was is also based on a couple of books as well, based on books by Helen Feldling, who she also was one of the screenwriters for the movie too. I mean, yeah, Bridget Jones' Diary, directed by Sharon Maguire. Really nice. Yes. The Bridget Jones movie, I admit part 2 wasn't as good as part 1, but I still got a kick out of part 2. I also quite like part 3. Part 3, I guess you could say, was Renee Zellweger's film comeback, because when she did Bridget Jones's Baby, which got released in 2016, before that, she did not do a movie since 2010. So it was like about Yeah, it was about like 6 years since she did a film, and also I'm really glad to see her making a major comeback. And the Bridget Jones movies are really interesting. I mean, kind of funny because I'm not really the target demographic for the Bridget Jones films, but I still find them really cute and charming. And yeah, if you guys never really seen any of the Bridget Jones movies, I'd say definitely give them a shot. I mean, yeah, it's obviously you're probably gonna tear up throughout some films, and you're probably gonna eat ice cream while you're watching. And yeah, Bridget Jones is a really nice one. All right, now the best Renee Zellweger movie of all time obviously goes to the film that won Zellweger her Oscar, and that is the Best Picture winner, Chicago. I mean, obviously Chicago's gonna be your best work. You had of course it's based on the hit Broadway show, directed by Rob Marshall, who's come on, great. Who does love Rob Marshall? But all right, might have to move because it's about rain. So move up there. All right, now it's like this. It's starting to pause, so I had to move down a lot. But anyway, now back to Chicago. I mean, Chicago it's a great music. I mean, you got Zellweger, who plays a character of Roxy Hart, who ends up turning the murder of a lover into a successful show business career and all. And the movie, it like says, is based on the hit Broadway show. And you even got people. You even got Catherine Zeta-Jones, who plays this nightclub sensation Velma, who ends up murdering her Phil Henry husband. You've got Richard Gere, who plays this Chicago lawyer named Billy Flynn. And yeah, I mean, Chicago, like I said, it won Best Picture at the Oscar for a reason. It's a great musical. I mean, granted, I've never seen the Broadway show, but the musical movie is really fantastic. Great performances by the cast. You even had Queen Latifah. John C. Reilly was in this. Zellweger really nailed it as a role of Roxy Hart. And yeah, I mean, Rob Marshall, he's a man when it comes to musicals. Of course, he gave us Into the Woods. He gave us Mary Poppins Returns. I mean, he's great with musical-based films. And Chicago really showed it. I mean, if you guys still never seen Chicago by now, give it a go. Some great music, great performances by the cast. It's a really good one. But that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Bridget Jones. Wait. Scrub on that one. Let's see. Let me go back down. Alright. 10, Love and a 45. 9, Me, Myself, and RA. 8, Down with Love. 7, Cinderella Man. 6, One True Thing. 5, Nurse Betty. 4, Miss Potter. 3, Jerry Maguire. 2, Bridget Jones's Diaries. And 1, Chicago. Now, there's loads of other Renee Zellweger movies I probably could have added. Let's see. Cold Mountain, that was okay, but didn't love it as most people do. Case 39 was kind of terrible. That was not so good. She was in Shark Tale, which I quite like Shark Tale. She was also in a B movie, which Empire Records. She was in that Keanu Reeves movie, The Whole Truth. The film New in Town, Same Kind of Different as Me, which also featured Greg Kinnear. She was also in She was in Monsters vs. Aliens, Reality Bites, um, My One and Only. She was in the film Here and Now, 8 Seconds. She was also in that not so good movie, The Bachelor, The Whole Wide World. Some really cool films. I mean, Renee Zellweger, she's always been some interesting stuff. Not everything she's in turns out go. I mean, B movie, The Bachelor. Yeah, those were definitely not great films. But and I cannot wait to see Judy. By the way, I'm seeing that this Friday, so I'll post out my reviews when I see it. But anyway, let me lead you guys. What did you like? What are some of your favorite Renee Zellweger movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movies signing off.